Can you run faster than a human? Well, yeah, robots certainly can. Take a look at this. A robot running record is getting plenty of attention after a half marathon race in Beijing. Look at him. He goes, yes.
Yeah. I can feel his emotion.
So he actually beat the human record that was made during what, Portugal? I think that was the last
March 8th.
Wow.
Yeah, that was 6 weeks ago. And I think he
I love watching this.
So the robot managed to
oh my God, where is his head?
get the record.
There's no head.
And I could be mistaken, but I think that this is the same robot that slammed into the side
crowd?
barrier just minutes before. And even then,
still won. And still beat the human record. All right, Minmin Lo's here, our China correspondent. She's been watching all things social media. Yeah, where is his head? Or its head? Yeah, so they broke the human record. Tell us more.
Yeah, I mean, this is the second edition of this robot marathon that China has held. And I think it's remarkable just the leap of the technology in the course of 1 year. Because last year, if you recall, the fastest robot took, 2 hours, 40 minutes? And now it took a third of the time. So it was really quite a leap in the technology there. And it's not just about speed, right? It's also about the number of autonomous robots that participated this year. 40% of the robots were autonomous versus last year where almost none of them, they were pretty much all remote controlled. And a part of it was because the organizers also revised the rule. They basically put a penalty for those that are remote controlled. Your race time has to be multiplied by 1.2 times. So actually, this robot was not the fastest. There was another remote controlled robot that was the fastest. But because of the penalty, it was, well, not penalty, the race rules, it was bumped down to the fifth. That robot actually crashed into the barrier just about 50 minutes before the end, and then it couldn't get up. It required some human help to get it up, but finally, yes.
You got a robot trophy. I love it.
And Honor really smashed the competition here because Honor took all 3 of the top spots in this robot competition. Yeah, it looks a bit deranged without the head.
Would you do that, Dave?
Even if I tried and trained for years, I could never run with this form.
But it's just like you're on the other side with all the humans, and there's this robot just racing ahead of you.
There it is.
I love it.
There,
this is the one that
this is the one right before.
Twist.
And then here's the human intervention. It's coming. It's coming
this is a
soon.
remote control one, though. It's not the one that won. But this came in fastest.
This was the one that came in fastest. Okay.
So the one that
they
fell,
all look similar.
they look similar because they're all by Honor, and they're called Lightning. They're all called Lightning.
They all called Lightning. Oh, they're racing.
And Honor is the company, just for our viewers who might not be too familiar.
The smartphone company that used to be a subsidiary of Huawei before it was spun off. Yeah.
Okay, so beyond just in some ways, the gimmick
They brought the stretcher
itself, and it's a good. There it is. Okay, it can't. It can't wait to get started again.
This is a very elegant fall, by the way. There were many spectacular falls.
Let me go. I love this. Okay, obviously this is one, I guess you could say, gimmick, Minmin.
Yeah.
Look at this
There's
guy.
also some other ways
God.
that they're stress testing some of these robots now, right?
Yeah, it is in some ways a stress test, right? Because the race terrain was quite difficult, I would say. There were uphill and downhill slopes. There were barriers. I mean, there were robots that just tripped right at the start across the curb and just completely shattered and had to be taken away with a stretcher. So it is, in some ways, that stress test. And also bear in mind, it is an event that really raises the profile and the visibility of the entire sector. You look at the participation rate this year, it's up 5-fold. 100 teams participated with 300 robots. And that's another challenge because if it's an autonomous robot, it has to avoid colliding with the other 300 robots that was racing with it. So there are a lot of sort of technical details. You have to ensure that the battery packs is able to be swapped or it can last for the entire race, that the robots do not get overheated and melt and lose their limbs.
Oh, no.
I mean, there are some of them that look like really drunken and, walking drunkenly on that race course. It also, realistically, there were local reports that said that the interest in this race was so high that the search terms for intelligent robots, for example, went up 300 times during the robot race on these e-commerce platforms. So it really drives traffic to some of the companies involved as well.
It's really cool, and I think you put it very nicely, Minmin, that this is almost a rehearsal of a fully autonomous, if you think about EVs, right, that they have to coexist amongst themselves and not crash into each other.
And it's sort of a playing field to really attract more more people to come in and to race in this. And then throughout that process, they would reiterate and refine their products. And eventually you get those winners that really dominate, the industry globally, over the course of this intense competition in China.
Why did it start ahead, though? Anyway, like we're getting...
Oh, so they are staggered by 30 seconds so that they don't crash into each other.
Minmin knows everything.
Yeah.
Next up, high rocks, okay?
Yes.
Let's see how they do there.
Let's see.
Let me see you do a burpee.
Well, the only perhaps the blessing here, though, is I hope they have their shirts on, because everyone at High Rock seems to be dispensing with the top end of their clothing. I mean, come on, men. I mean, it's probably cold in there.
Oh.
Anyway, okay.
Oh, Dave's so bitter because he is the marathon run, not the High Rocks participant. Okay.
No.
Minmin, thanks for bringing that. I love the video. Any day we could put that on our shows.